Higher life expectancy also increases the value of investment in education and skills. Why is that? Well, think about many modern professions. In many modern professions, you require education into your late 20s or your early 30s in order to become fully qualified and become able to practice those professions. If life expectancy is 45, 46, 47, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to spend 25, 30 years in education in order to be able to use that education for maybe 15 years. On the other hand, if you expect to live into your 70s, 80s, and expect to work until your 60s, then spending 25 years in education, it makes a lot more sense. Now, another way of thinking about this is, it seems slightly facetious, but it is true, that death is a very good destroyer of human capital. A person's education and skills, their knowledge, their ability to use their skills and knowledge disappears when that person dies. So, just as when risks to life are low, the value of the life is high and incentives to protect the life and the health. I should have said health here too, because if your life is long and you protect your health, then you can enjoy that health for a longer period of time. And because you can enjoy the health for a longer period of time, the incentives to protect and improve your health are greater when risks to life are low. I'm going to summarize all of this in a little picture. Improvements in life expectancy, increased life expectancy creates incentives to increase investment in your human capital, protecting your life, improving your health or protecting your health, investing more in education and skills. And it turns out when you protect your life, well, what does that do to your life expectancy? It improves your life expectancy. When you protect your health, what does that do to your life expectancy? That increases your life expectancy again. It also turns out that education levels and skill levels are also associated with higher life expectancies. People who are better educated, they tend to know better how to protect their life and protect their health. And as a consequence, the extra investment in human capital leads to an increase in life expectancy. So this is a positive self-reinforcing cycle in the sense that as life expectancy improves, incentives to invest in human capital increase. When investment in human capital increases, that increases life expectancy, and it creates this self-reinforcing positive cycle that can be really, really powerful in terms of improving the welfare of people in a society. These improvements in human capital, they also have another important effect on productivity in general. In a society where people are highly skilled, highly educated, and they are healthy, they can make better use of their natural resources, they can make better use of their physical capital, and they can make better use of the technology available to them. As a very basic example, a skilled farmer, a healthy farmer, is a better producer, a better steward of her farm and the equipment in that farm and the technology in that farm than a farmer who is less skilled and one who is less healthy. So it turns out that there is complementarity. Economists call this complementarity, that when there are increases in human capital, they increase the productivity of the other factors that productivity depends on. I'm going to draw an abbreviated version of this right here. And let's now relate this to productivity and standards of living. So as human capital increases, productivity increases. This increased productivity increases people's standard of living. This means that people have more resources to be able to have better housing, better food, clean water, clean air, better medical care, better road safety, and so forth, which in turn creates the resources that allow for improvement in both life expectancy and human capital. So this positive self-reinforcing cycle that I was talking about earlier, this interacts with productivity, creating the resources to allow even more improvement in life expectancy and human capital. When this self reinforcing cycle gets going in a society, it can have a very, very powerful, very rapid effect in terms of greatly improving the living conditions of people in that society. Unfortunately, it is also true that when these cycles go into reverse, those reversals are also extremely potent. So, for instance, if there is, instead of this increase in life expectancy, if there is instead a decrease in life expectancy, then what it does is it decreases the incentives to invest in human capital, which in turn decreases life expectancy further. So, if you don't invest in your health, education, and protecting your life expectancy is going to go down. And this is going to become, instead of this positive self reinforcing cycle, it becomes a vicious cycle where each negative is given further impetus by additional negatives that are created by it. In the larger cycle, too, what can happen when these things go into reverse is that if there is a decrease in productivity, that leads to a decrease in the standard of living, which makes it harder to invest in human capital, which tends to decrease life expectancy and which in turn tends to decrease productivity. So this cycle can also go into reverse. And again, when these cycles go into reverse, they are also extremely powerful and they can have a transformative effect on a society in a very, very small period of time.